another quick point five that popped up because Nick's reminded us we should be doing them. We're talking about, are we getting lazy? Not us individually, because yeah, I spent last night with my dogs on my lap and I was happy and I was lazy. But we're talking about, are we as a race and as a human, whatever, being lazy with the modern cars? Nick's quick answer was yes, we are. By the way, this came out from one of our. Apparently, we have avid viewers. So one of our avid viewers has been asking questions, and this is one of the questions: are we getting lazy as drivers, as buyers? Nick's answer is yes. My answer, Chris's answer is we're all going to be not driving in 100 years. My answer is you can pry the steering wheel out of my cold, dead hands. But having said that,
it's okay. We'll all be dead in 100 years.
you're such a. Never mind.
But Karn's still holding onto the
your
wheel.
thoughts. Paulo, you're the youngest one here. I was calling you millennial, but you're not. Are you? Nick's is the millennial. Paulo.
We're both millennials.
You are? Oh,
Opposite ends,
God.
though.
That's
Opposite
the
ends.
explanation that you cannot group things together. Okay, Paulo, thoughts? Are we getting lazy as car drivers?
I don't think so. I think it's nice to have these features. Because me, I think it depends. I started driving with a car that didn't have any of these convenience or safety features. I backed up using my rear view mirror, my side mirror, without any sensors. And for me, my mentality is that it's nice to have these features, but for personally, it's still important for me to learn to drive without these niceties. I don't think we're getting lazier, but it's nice to have them. Like we're getting more advanced. So why can't we just have these features in the car, right? Like we don't have to hate on them. We don't have to hate on cars that have
I agree
them.
with that.
There's no reason to give flack to anyone who likes using them, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No, but okay. But I answered yes, we're getting lazier, but I don't think it's a bad thing because when you have less things to worry about, it just gives
Yeah.
you more things to put focus on. So, like what Paulo said, you can, for example, let's use reversing as an example. Before, we'd have to use the mirror. So, rear mirror, side mirror, reversing takes a lot of effort. But then with cameras and sensors now, just as Chris pointed out, it's less on like making it lazy, but more of you can do more things like really watch what's behind you, what's beyond the rear view mirror. And it's when we introduce these technologies that like admittedly people have gotten complacent, but it also has given us more opportunities to focus on the road.
Okay,
Maybe
Gerard. G. Sorry, G.
I think it doesn't necessarily make us lazy, but on the upside, okay, sige, let me rephrase that. There is a tendency to become complacent, but at the same time, if you really, focus, it will help reduce your driver stress in the sense that, you can focus more on the road. I guess you have more aids to help you stay out of harm's way, which is really the whole point. Of course, if you're going to be complacent, then I guess you don't have any business being behind the
That's
wheel.
on you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris.
Well, this question is very closely tied to the people who complain that they want 911s without all the safety features, without the traction control and all of that. Just because modern cars now have traction control and they have ABS, and we don't have to control the rear every time there's a
Yeah.
a close spin. Does that
Yep.
mean we're getting lazy just because we don't have to do that? I mean,
No, I mean you're still alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry,
because there are people who say, oh, the raw 911s are best because they didn't have any of these tech features. Like if it fishtailed, you had to get it back under control, and we're getting lazy because now we have all these safety features that do it for us. I don't see it as getting lazy. At the end of the day, these cars are the main function of these cars is to be driven, and all these tech features do is they allow us to do that while staying safe, while staying alive. It's like phones, for example. There was a time when you had to manually rotate dials.
I remember that.
Click, 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 click.
Oh,
click, click,
that's
click,
what
click, click.
dial means.
And now we can do it with the press of a button. Does that mean we're getting lazy? I don't think so. It just enhances the functionality of a phone to do its job, which is to make calls.
Yep.
In the future, though, it might be a different story. In the future, as we get closer to fully autonomous cars, then we won't be driving at all. We'll just be going from point A to point B sitting down.
Yeah.
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 Now, eventually, I do believe that that's where we're headed, but in the meantime, we're not there yet. And I don't think that these gadgets and features and safety functions and stuff like that, I don't think they're making us lazy. I think they're just enhancing what cars are meant to do, which is to be driven, and they're just doing it in a safer way. That includes the backup cameras. They're added assistance. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
It's added assistance. It doesn't. Well, of course, there are the self parking cars, and that's an argument. Like, are you lazy for using self parking features in cars? I don't know. Maybe.
Here's a question. We've tested self-parking cars. All of us have, I believe. Do you use it? Do you like it?
My brother
I've
uses it
never
a lot.
used it.
I've never.
I know.
Ah.
See, so okay.
But it's more of a question of trust than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since they're not our cars, right? So, okay. No, okay. This is a very interesting point, and there are a couple things. There are a lot of people who have comments, and they tend to generalize in a lot of ways. And your example, Chris, of the 911 guys who say they wish, everything went back to old school. What I honestly tend to find is the people that say that don't drive the modern cars. And when they do drive the modern cars, and I have put staunch advocates of old school, all analog 911s into modern cars, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're driving home in comfort. We're not fighting, we're not exhausted."
Yeah.
And what was really funny was because this is one of the things.
But you're lazy.
No, Nix was the one who shot this, right? Nix, we did the 930 turbos, right? We did all the 930 turbos, which is almost impossible to do anywhere in the world. It's really, really hard. So we had
Let
a lot
me
of
get
support
that
by
photo.
fans.
One of my
okay?
favorite photos.
And what annoyed the guy who was pro vintage was that I stuck him at the top, meaning he got the newest cars. He got the newest 930 turbo variant or equivalent, right? And I got the first one because I've always wanted to drive one. And so we kind of went in the middle. And our sweet spot is kind of more towards the modern side, even for him. But the explanation is that, this is a car that, no joke, people call the Widowmaker.
Yes.
Okay? This would kill
Good
people. It's
reason.
really no joke. When we did the GT3 RS tests at Nürburgring, slight rain, they would not allow us out in these basically priceless vintage cars. And we know what we're doing, and we agree with them. We should not go out in these cars. It's just too dangerous. But if we went out in the new 911 GT2 RS or 3 RS, we'd be sliding, we'd have fun, So we can talk all we want about the macho-ness or machismo of old school driving, but the truth is these cars are keeping us alive. They're keeping our kids alive. There's a lot of stuff that we would not survive driving now. And the question that brought us into this was by this guy named Isuzu Diesel. If we're allowed to say that, I don't know. If not, cut it out, please. But he actually melded two kind of things together, which surprised me, which was he talked about, are we getting lazy? And he also discussed racing. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting point, because most of the time, racers want the most analog thing possible, okay? But I have learned the opposite, and then I found that a lot of people agree with it being the opposite. And I'll give two examples. One is on motorcycles, where there is a motorcycle called the ADX or ADV by Honda that Paulo and I were talking about. And it's kind of a half hybrid scoot, basically, with a 750cc engine. It's kind of an off-road adventure bike, but it's comfortable, it's an automatic, and so on. And the end result was it actually won some raids. And it won some raids because it could more smoothly bring the guy around the way they wanted. So there, the next example I have is the Lotus Exige. I got a chance. I love Lotus. I'm a big fan historically of Lotus, of the less is more. Want to go faster, lose weight, take a corner better, straight surfer wussies type thing. I really, really love. I idolize Colin Chapman, and so I got a chance to drive effectively an Exige race car at their test track with their test driver, and I was exhausted. I felt every stone. I felt every tiny pebble.
Mhm.
That car was communicating like crazy to me, and I was exhausted after 2 laps. And then the test driver got in, and we just flew. So he clearly was fine. I was not. And so I was like, you know what? This explains why cars like the 718s of Porsche or the M2s of BMW, this is why they work, because they let us avoid dealing with all the little things that are taking our attention and focus
Yes.
on the actual driving, right?
Yeah.
And with modern drivers who don't know what it's like, I was driving once again, Miata plug. I was driving my NA Miata for the last few days, and it's exhausting. I can feel everything, and it's great. I feel the road, I feel everything, I feel what the tires are doing, but it's exhausting. Then I park that car and get into a Legacy. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most comfortable thing in the world. Okay, so what these new cars do is allow us to focus. They allow us to focus on what we're doing. And
Yeah.
even if the cars do not have the same level of feel, we're in a world where people are growing up playing video games. They don't have the feel. They're just acting based on what the car is doing. They don't feel the road as much as we do. So, and the other thing to remember with all these things is that despite all the complaints, the cars are getting safer. They're really, really getting safer. Traction control, what saves us in a Porsche or Vios, saves our lives. It saves the lives of the people we love. It keeps us from smashing into 2 lanes beside us. Nix and I did that test. It's very, very clear. These things save lives. So I would say I would move away from the word lazy, because we just don't do the stuff we did anymore. No question, these cars are safer. If it's a function of the fact that we take away some of the driving and it becomes autonomous, correct. That's just the way it is.
Yep. Yep.
So, so that was a quick discussion we had. Thanks to Nix for bringing it up. Thanks to Suzu Diesel, if I'm getting it right, for actually bringing up the question. Thanks to my friend for actually bringing up the first question, which was, do I take my Fortuner instead of a Carnival? But there. So once again, this has been a fun conversation. A quick one. Anyone have any final thoughts? Are we lazy? Are we not lazy? Should we race with automatics or not?
It's an
I'm lazy.
automatic.
We have another question, which is, do you think a dual clutch transmission is automatic or not?
Good question.
Because by definition, it's not, right? So anyway, okay.
Correct.
But there, okay. So again, this hasn't been as fun as Paulo's Tito Car thing, but it has been interesting, and we answered some questions, and we like doing that. Thank you very, very much, everyone. This has been another, probably a 0.5, although we don't know. This has been Chris. This has been Nix. This has been G. This has been Paulo. I'm Carl. We are the Cars Casually team from C. Thank you very, very much, everyone, and please keep the questions coming.
Bye, guys.
Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.